for today's webinar, and this will be Sean Brady talking about how to get the most out of your visual assets. So Sean, take it away, and thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Rita. I appreciate the chance to come and speak with you all today. Some of the topics we're going to cover in the next 25-30 minutes. First of all, who is this guy and why is he speaking to Vantage employees if he's not a Vantage employee? I'll tell you a little bit about what we do for Vantage, and I think then you'll understand why I'm here today. We're going to talk about why quality images are important, and I've got a lot of research slides that will help you understand why it is that the image that you put out on the internet can improve your bottom line. Once you decide that you want them, how would you go about getting high-quality visual assets, whether you're using a professional photographer or actually there's a lot you can do on your own these days with the technology that's available. And then we're going to have a very interactive session I like to call the good, the bad, and the ugly, where we're going to take what we've learned about what a quality image looks like, and we're going to apply it to real images that different hotel chains have submitted to ICE Portal for global distribution. And you'll see what that looks like, and you'll quickly be able to pick up on the good and the bad. When I'm all done, we can do questions and answers. If something comes up during my presentation that you truly don't understand, feel free to type your question, as Rita mentioned, and I will stop speaking and I can share the question with everybody, and we'll all review it together. So as Rita mentioned, I'm Sean Brady. I'm your account manager at ICE Portal, and I have a pretty simple job description. Make sure that the Vantage team is getting the service that they pay us for and that they're happy with that service. It sounds pretty simple, and technically it is. What we do for Vantage is we do global distribution of your photos and your 360-degree virtual tours. We take all of these images and virtual tours, we organize, format, and then we send them to all of the global distribution systems, such as Amadeus, WorldSpan, and Pegasus, as well as hundreds of online travel agencies, such as Expedia, Orbitz, Hotelbeds, and I'm going to show you a slide with some more of them in a minute. We also send your images out to Google and Yelp, and we can even provide them to your Facebook page if you have one. This is all we do. We decided that it was better to focus on doing one thing very well than on doing lots of things not so well. So as I mentioned, we have over 500 distribution channels that we share your images to, and those distribution channels in turn feed downstream to literally thousands of online travel agencies and websites. So some of the major players you can see here, Expedia, Hotelbeds, very big in Europe, Orbitz, Lanyon, Agoda, which is huge in the Asian market, Giada, which is another key player in Europe, Best Day, which I believe is the largest online travel agency in South America. We also feed them to the global distribution systems, the big reservation systems, if you will, to Amadeus. We feed them daily, Travelport, Pegasus, which feeds thousands of downline OTAs, gets a daily feed from us. And we are currently working with Sabre on integrating our system with them as well. And like I mentioned before, we can also feed social media. So each day we feed your images to Google so that if someone is in Google Maps and does a local search for a hotel, the picture of your property that appears most likely came from us. So we've got a pretty broad network, and I want you guys to understand that each day that this distribution channel is getting larger and larger. We don't charge any of the distribution channels for images. So most of them want to do business with us, and it helps us get your property exposed to more and more consumers who are very, very focused on the internet. So one of my responsibilities, in addition to making sure your images are distributed, is we perform a quality review once a quarter with each of our clients, including Vantage. And what we do is we take a look at each image that Vantage has inside the ICE Portal system. ICE Portal, by the way, ICE, we came up with, stands for Internet Content Exchange. So that we're focused on making sure that all of your images are sent out throughout the internet. So we assign a grade based on the size, the number of photos for each property, the age of the photograph, and whether the photo has a category. Size is important since the image needs to be large enough to grab your customer's attention. Quantity is important because studies have shown that properties with 20 or more images get more bookings. I'll have a slide on that in a minute. Freshness is important because no one, I mean it, including your family, likes to look at old photos. Well, unless it's to make fun of the clothes that we used to wear back in the 70s. And lastly, each image needs a category so that it can be properly displayed on the online travel agencies and the global distribution systems. So why all this fuss over some pictures, Son? Well, it's because the images that you put out there will have a significant impact on your bottom line. Your images play a significant role in everything from booking behavior to an increase in your average daily rate. Each of us is impacted by the images that we are exposed to, pun intended, every day. So I'm hoping you'll humor me and we'll do a little experiment, and we're going to start out with something that is interactive. So I'm going to need your participation. All right, so here's a photo that I downloaded from the internet. I'd like you to type in what you see in this picture. I'm sorry, type it into the chat box. So who are these people? What type of relationship do you think they have? Where are they? All right, I'm getting plenty of feedback now. Some people, let's see, we got peaceful, a son and a father, so Henry Cabrera. Possible father and son, son and dad at a lake, father-son nature walk. This is fantastic. On a lake, father-son time. Excellent. How about the location? What time of year do we think it is? Oh, you guys are typing in fast. All right, fall, autumn. We got one person who says it's morning. Lots of falls. Fantastic. You'll notice that there was no caption or text with this image, but we learned a great deal about it and the people and the place, didn't we? Before we move on, I should probably share with you that this is really not a random photo. That's me on the right, and the little boy that you see in the picture is my son Jack, who's now a sophomore in college. It was taken at a lake in Illinois on a beautiful fall day around 10 o'clock in the morning. And yes, we had just finished a nature walk, and my son, as usual, had lots of questions. But we know that already, don't we? Because the images are much more effective in communicating information than text. Researchers have determined that 90% of information transmitted to the brain is visual, and visuals are processed by the brain 60,000 times faster than text. So would your prospective guests rather read a description of your property, the restaurant and the rooms, or see visuals? Visuals win every time, and that's why the photo gallery section of your website usually gets the most views. I was surprised to learn that 93% of travelers say their booking decisions are impacted by online research. I would have guessed it to be 100. I'm assuming that 7% don't have access to the internet. And when consumers are in research mode, they fixate on visuals. In fact, pages with images have 94% more views than those without images. And it's just not one or two sites consumers are visiting during their research phase. According to Expedia, leisure travelers visit an average of 38 sites over the course of 45 days prior to booking. 40% of those visits happen in the final week. What's really interesting is that only 4.1% of those sites were to the hotel's website. So what are they doing looking at all these other sites? According to Google, 82% of travelers comparison shop for all areas of travel, especially hotels. meaning your property's visuals are viewed by millions of prospective customers on multiple sites. Look at it from the traveler's perspective. They want to be very comfortable with your property before they make their purchase decision. %80 of the online travelers primarily look at visuals, and 20% actually read some textual content. I think my boss is the only one who actually reads the text. Think of a travel website that really got your attention. I bet visuals dominated that site. Other research showed us that 67% of consumers consider clear, detailed images to be very important and carry even more weight than the product information, full description, and customer ratings. And it's more than your website. It's thousands of other sites around the globe selling your property. So how about size and quantity? We revert back to the age-old question. Does size really matter? Yes, according to a study, size does matter. When images double in size, sales increase by 9.4%. And according to TripAdvisor, properties with 20 or more photos have 150% more engagement than properties with only a few photos. Those two factors could increase your average daily rate by $3.50, not according to Sean, but according to Expedia. It would be fair to say, if you're not optimizing your visuals, you're leaving money on the table. So now that you can see that this can improve your bottom line, you may be thinking, okay, Sean, how do I get these big, beautiful new images? If you've remodeled or upgraded lately, you can contact your member care or SSAP, who can work with you at the Vantage team here to arrange for a photo session. But I don't think you have to wait for that. The camera on your phone is better than most cameras were 10 years ago. Better yet, find a friend or relative with a camera and a tripod and follow the instructions I'm going to share with you. You can take some pretty great photos yourself. So now that you've decided you want bigger pictures, we need to have a little bit of a technical talk about what does that mean. JPEG, TIFF, f-stop, ISO, shutter speed. Sounds like alphabet soup to me. Don't panic, I'm going to keep it pretty simple. I am not an expert in technology of photography. The good news is you don't have to be either. You just need to understand a few of the basics. Digital photography is all about the pixel. It is the building block of your photo. And just like the blocks we all played with as children, the more blocks we have, the bigger object we can create. In this case, our photograph. When digital cameras first came out, they took really, really small pictures. Let's say 300 pixels wide. Now we have cameras that can easily take photographs that are over 5,000 pixels wide. Why is this important? Because when we display images on the monitor, a laptop or your cell phone, the number of pixels wide will determine how big we can display your picture. The old monitor that my boss keeps on my desk can display images up to 1,280 pixels wide. That monitor that you see on the lower portion of my slide is the new Apple Retina 5000K, which I'd love one for Christmas if anybody wants to buy me one, which can display images over 5,000 pixels wide. So you can kind of imagine how silly a 300 pixel wide image will look on one of these new monitors. I like to describe it as a mosquito riding on an elephant. And remember, the technology just keeps getting bigger and better, like our home TV screens, which people are now starting to use to surf the web thanks to smart TVs. So you're going to want the biggest images you can get. A couple more things to think about as you're getting ready. You may be so excited to get good images of your property and any local attractions that happen to be nearby that you're tempted to find some on the internet and download them. Please don't give in to this temptation. Professional photographers own the rights to any images that they take. Oh, I've got a question popping in. Are there copyright issues when taking photographs in a state or national forest? No, I'm sorry, that was sent in by Kenrick. No, actually they're not, because the photographer actually owns the rights to the image. So as long as you are the photographer, then there's no problem doing that. However, you want to make sure that when you're capturing a photograph that you don't accidentally also include somebody's corporate logo. And we'll get into that when we talk about staging your property, but you have to make be very careful that you don't accidentally incorporate something that you did not intend to. Where are we at? When we hire a photographer to work for us, they assign those rights to us for either a single use or for unlimited use. Pictures from the internet are still owned by the photographer who took them, and you may be in violation of copyright laws if you were to use those images. Yes, there are some sites that say the images are part of the public domain, but do you really want to take that chance? If you want pictures of a local attraction, let's say the beach, or to Ken's point, a local national forest or national park, take your camera with you the next time you go and take some yourself. If it is a commercial, where are we at here? Take some yourself. If it's a commercial attraction, you can contact them for photos that you can use. It's simpler and safer just to avoid these issues altogether. If your property is in Orlando, your customers are pretty much going to know that Disney is nearby without you adding pictures of Mickey to your media gallery. Now, one last thing. Remember how much information you instantly absorbed when we looked at that picture of my son Jack and I? You most likely didn't realize how quickly you'd picked up all those details, because your brain's been doing this for a long time and you're really good at it. Unfortunately, so is just about everybody else. So the phrase, the camera catches everything, is true. You want to spend as much time as you need to prepare your property so that it looks its absolute best. I bet you would have noticed if there was a candy bar wrapper in my photo in the photo with me and my son, and so will your customers. So let's talk about getting ready for your big day. Like most efforts in life, preparation and communication are the key to success. The more time you spend planning and communicating up front, the smoother your photo shoot will go. Typically, a photographer takes all of your images in a single day. So you want to make sure that your time and effort are not wasted. So talk to your photographer up front about what you're looking for in your images. Make sure that they know and they understand your expectations. Remember, no one knows your property like you do, so don't be afraid to offer suggestions. You will know the best time to take certain shots to help reduce the impact to your customers and still create a great image. Now is a good time to start getting your entire team prepared for this effort as well. You will need their help in preparing your property before and during the shoot, so communicate to them the importance of the project and your expectations. Make sure that they each understand the role that they will play and how they can contribute to its success. There is a slide I bet you didn't expect. Become your mother-in-law? What does he mean by that? The first step you need to do is to take a look at your property with a new set of eyes. Remember the first time your mother-in-law came to see your new home? How quickly she could spot the worn carpet or that stain that you tried desperately to scrub out of the rug? You need to look at your property just like she would. Heck, if you want to, invite her to come back and look at it. You spend most of your day at your property, so you get used to seeing it without focusing on any flaws. If you have a friend or a relative besides your mother-in-law that's nearby, have them come over and do a walkthrough with you. Look at the places that tend to show the most wear and tear, such as carpets near doorways, light switches, countertops, or any furniture that's just about the right height for a toddler. Clean and repair anything that you notice, especially all the lighting. It's very important that all lights are working, and we'll talk a little bit more about that soon. Check your furniture for wear and swap it out if it's needed. Take a good hard look at your landscaping. Anything not growing should be removed. Make sure all the litter is removed. You will do this again on the day of the shoot, but some areas, like the parking lot or usually near the vending machines, may need a little extra attention. Take a good look at your signage. Is it up to date? Remember to remove any that is not or is temporary, such as holiday signs or holiday decorations. One more thing. Remember, we are striving for clean, bright, and roomy. Avoid adding a lot of extra plants or extra furniture to your photos. Really, less is more. You may notice that picture is a Vantage property, and from here on out to the rest of the presentation, I've tried to include pictures of various Vantage properties in both the U.S. and Canada. So at the end of the presentation, you'll see my email, and if anybody from one of these properties is participating in today's call, if you'll send me an email, I will send you some of the free gift items that we have at ICE Portal. I want to take a minute and address another question that came in from Gary. It said, I have captured free images from attractions around Tucson. Gary, again, as long as you took the images, there won't be an issue. Sometimes you can find images on the internet, like I said, that are part of public domain. I would just caution you that you may want to make sure that you actually have the rights, because you're not just using these images for yourself. They would be distributed if you were to put them into our system. So we got to make sure that you actually have the distribution rights and not just a single use or personal use. And keep the question coming, guys. If you see it, if anything I say causes you to have a question, just type it in and I'll make sure I address it as we go. All right, so where are we at? We're at the day before your shoot, and this is the time to get ready. You want to have your guest rooms that are to be photographed thoroughly cleaned. Make sure that they do the little extras, like wiping down the light switch plates, the door handles, handles on the furniture, the television screen. Check the lampshades for any wear or stains. Again, make sure every light is functioning and has a bright bulb. And if you need to, you can certainly swap out the light bulbs for stronger ones for the day of your shoot. Make sure that they vacuum behind the door. Most times, housekeeping keeps the guest room open during the cleaning process. Guess what area does not see the vacuum too often? You want to iron all the pillowcases, the bedspreads, the bed skirts, and even the curtains if they need it. Make sure the bathroom is absolutely spotless, including the shower curtain. Make sure the towels are folded and even. You can also remove the waste bins. Everyone knows that there'll be at least one in your room, but they really don't photograph well, and we prefer that you take them out of the shot. Really take some time inspecting the room, and then close up the room and ensure that no one uses it prior to your shoot. Now is the time to go ensure that the pool is clean and clear. Arrange your outdoor furniture. Try a few different looks. Now is the time to experiment before your photographer arrives. If you have outdoor trash cans, again, relocate them so that they're not in the shot. Remove any debris in your landscaping and make sure that it's been trimmed. If your property happens to have a restaurant, you're going to want to iron all the tablecloths. That will remove the fold marks in the laundry service. Make sure the tables are all set with the ironed tablecloths, glassware and silverware are clean, and that there's no food present. All right, now we reach the day of the shoot has arrived. Remember what I said, that communication with your team was key? Well, here's where we're going to find out just how well you communicated. A great photo shoot requires the cooperation of your entire team. So ensure that every department is briefed before and on the day of the shoot. You should also plan on having yourself or a member of your team stay with the photographer for their entire photo shoot. Make sure that your entire team is on standby in case they are needed to assist. Maintenance, housekeeping, and catering if required. During your prep work, you may have identified ways to reduce the impact of the shoot on your customers. Why is this important? Because you don't want any people in your shots. Not that we don't want pictures of customers enjoying your property, it's just that they would have to sign a waiver, and many of the online travel agencies will not display any image that contains people, because they have no way of knowing whether the waiver was signed. So in lobby areas, plan on shooting during your least busy part of the day. Obviously, check-in and check-out times are out, but this goes back to the fact that no one knows your property like you do, so plan these shots out in advance with your photographer. Exterior shots should be done as close to midday as possible. This will help reduce the shadows. You also want to avoid any shots that include license plates or other companies' logos. As I mentioned before, other companies' logos can create a copyright issue, and we want to avoid license plates because we want to respect the privacy of our customers. Your photographer will help you with this and can certainly make suggestions. They're used to that type of request. The pool area again, it's time to pick up that pool area, make sure it's clean and well organized. Noon is typically a great time to shoot the pool area. And again, make sure that the pool is skimmed immediately before the photo shoot begins. All right, now we're ready to begin your photo shoot. So now the fun begins. Your focus today is on making images that tell a story about your property. Just like that photo of Jack and I told a story about our relationship, the photos that you distribute will tell a story about you and your property. So let's make it a great story. Let's start with your guest room. A few tips. You want to arrange the pillows neatly so that there's no wrinkles in the cases. Ensure the bedspread and skirt are straight and wrinkle-free. You want to make sure the drapes are open and the shears are closed if you have shears on your windows. All the lights in the room, and I mean all of them, should be turned on. But it's also very important that the television be turned off. Again, because any image on that television you would not have the right to distribute. I mentioned it before, I'll mention it again. Let's remove those wastebaskets. I would try to avoid overstaging a room. If you add a lot of extra flowers or that stuffed animal on the bed, customers will expect them when they arrive. Remember, they're choosing your property based on these images that they've seen. In the bathroom area, make sure it's immaculately clean, that the shower curtain is open, and the commode lid down. Yes, believe it or not, I get pictures with the commode seat standing up that people want us to distribute. Public areas, make sure again that there's no people in your shots. You can even use your outdoor lighting during the day to make it appear even brighter. If you're shooting on an overcast day, don't fret. I'm going to talk to you about what we can do in post-production to make your images better. If you have a restaurant, you want to make sure that you shoot during a time when it's vacant. Again, all linens are freshly ironed, all the lights are on, and again, no food in the photos. When food is photographed, they bring in specialists called food stylists. And believe it or not, a lot of what they use is plastic because food seldom looks good underneath the lighting required for quality photography. So after your shot, you can still make some changes to your images. We can correct some minor things such as lens spots. They're rare, but they can happen. Some small shadows can be removed. We can remove reflections in mirrors, hopefully not of you or the photographer. We can lighten or darken the image, and we can, again, brighten the colors if it was shot on an overcast day. What cannot be removed is light switches, AC vents, garbage cans, fire alarms, fire extinguishers, or glare. So you're going to want to make sure that you avoid all those when you're taking your images. So now that you know the importance of the quality of your images and how to work with a photographer, I want to take some time to put these new skills to test. here's where we're going to get to the interactive part. Take a look at each of the following images and share with me what you see which is good or bad about each. Here's our first image. So type in what you think. Is this a good image or a bad image? And John, I appreciate your hint. I'm going to share that with everybody. When you're taking the outdoor photos, you want to minimize the amount of cars if possible. So you kind of know when your parking lot is at its best. That's probably the best time to take your outdoor photos. This is fantastic. Look at you guys go. I got bad, too small. Oh my God, somebody picked up on lots of plants, too many green plants. Okay, so let me share with you this first one. This is what a 300 pixel image looks like on a screen. You can see how incredibly small it is. It's, to me, one of the worst photos I've seen because of all those plants that they dragged into the lobby for this shot. And let me see if anybody picked up odd view, boat, yep, bad. It's not a good image, yeah. One of the other things that's missing, there's no branding. If I'm standing in that room, I have no idea which hotel I'm at, except for the fact that it looks kind of like a forest. Now, you can tell this is a Vantage property, so do you think it's good or bad? I think everybody's going to vote good, so tell me, if you will, what is good about it? What did they do very well? Ah, I finally have a winner. That's my N. All right, it's clean, it's simple. Good, clean and sharp, not busy looking. The sign, fantastic. So let me just walk through a couple quick points. Yes, all the lights are on. You've got your corporate logo right here in front and center, so you know exactly what brand of hotel you're at. It's not cluttered. It looks clean, airy, and open. Exactly what we're shooting for. Okay, now time for a tricky one. What do you like or not like about this one? All right, let me see. Spacious and bright, very well, sharp, desk in the middle. Yep. Arrangement of the table, can't see everything. Lighting is poor with the sun coming into the room. Somebody picked up on that. Okay. Let me tell you, I guess I'm a little more focused on this because I spend a lot of time on quality images. Take a look at the two bedspreads, guys. Which bed would you want to sleep in? And this is what I'm talking about with the attention to detail, because we talked about making sure that our bedspreads were ironed and wrinkle-free. And one of them, there we go, one of them looks fantastic, the one on the left, thank you, Henry. And the one on the right looks like my son made it. Remember what we talked about, the camera catches everything. All right, I think we've only got a couple more here. This good or bad? All right, I'm getting some goods, pretty good. Oh, a fair, must be a tough judge out there. Spotty carpet, somebody picked up on that. You know what you see? The room was vacuumed and you're actually looking at the footprints of the photographer. So whoever picked up on that, that is Dennis, well done. Good spacing throughout the room, not too good. Scarf hanging over, yep, somebody else caught that. All right, a couple of the good things, right? The drapes are open, the shears are closed, and the lights are all on. A couple of the negatives, which I'm really impressed that you guys figured out right away. You can see footprints, which really draws your attention away from, the bed and down to the floor. The angle is a little unusual. It could have certainly been squared off. Let's see, adorn is misplaced in carpet spot. Yep, you guys picked up on all that. Okay. All right, I'm going to share with you my all-time favorite photo. I'm not making this up. I guarantee you it was not a Vantage property. But one of your competitors sent this particular image in and wanted us to distribute it worldwide. So I'm going to tip my hand and tell you it's bad, but can you guys tell me why? Yeah, no way. I like that comment. Huh? Yeah, unfortunately. There we go. We got very dim, no light. It's a dirty room, very dark. Towels uneven. Yeah, this is an absolute disaster. First of all, I'm not sure what they were trying to show, because the camera angle kind of looks like they let a 4-year-old walk around with the camera. It's dark. It's dingy. I used to be married for a long time, and I assure you my wife would never use a restroom that looked like this. You don't want dark. You certainly don't want dingy. And pick a target, right? You either want to shoot the sink or shoot the shower, but you really shouldn't do both. And I'm seeing if there they are. You guys got it. Trash can in the shot. Well done, Heather. Heather and Manish picked up on that. Thank you. I was hoping somebody would notice that. No, it's definitely not a Vantage property. Yes, I should reiterate that. I may not ever get invited back. Now, this next picture is a Vantage property, and this is how it should be done. All right, so what do we have? Bright, open, airy. It's clean, it's inviting. Shower curtains open, the commode seat is down. It's focused, you can see the entire area. Every light's turned on, and it's immaculate. Anytime you're shooting the restroom, it's a difficult shot to take, but if you prepare it correctly, you can really show off your property. There's one more positive thing. I want to see if somebody picks up on it here. Let's see, towels. I'm not sure what's in the corner by the towels. Denise, you're welcome. Tile is nice and clean, no grout. There's one more positive thing. Look in the mirror. Curtains are open. Antonio got it. So it's real important, guys, when you're shooting your property. Make sure those curtains are open. It makes the room look a lot bigger. All right, well, that's going to wrap up the good and bad and ugly. I don't think we can ever top that one in the restroom. So let me take a few minutes to recap, and then we'll open it up for questions and answers. What did we learn today? We learned what Ice Portal is and what they do for Vantage, hopefully. You got to see a cute picture of Sean in the sun. Sorry, I'm kidding. We learned that pictures tell a story, and we want the story that you tell of your property to be a great one. We learned why visuals are important and how much it can add to your bottom line. I'm hoping that you guys all picked up some clues on how to make sure that the next time you take photographs of your property, how to make it look its absolute best. And more importantly, how to avoid the mistakes that can really draw people's attention away from your property. So with that, I think we'll open it up for questions, right? So if you have a question, feel free to type it in just like you did during the interactive part. All right. Julius, can you go back to the slide with the 2 beds where one bed looks nice and the other looks bad? I can at that. Bear with me. Oops.
Just find it over here, Sean.
Here we go.
And then just go to slideshow. Up, see the rip up right there. Go, just click on from current slide.
Here we go. Okay. Julius, there's the picture again.
Oh, no.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the wrong one. I lied.
Go up one.
You can't trust me. Look at this guy. Here we go. This is the one with the 2. Press the slide. There we go.
Actually, go over here and click the up arrow. The other one.
Bear with me 1 second here.
Click over here.
I shouldn't, currently I shouldn't drive the mouse. There we go. All right, John just saved me. Thank you. All right. Julius, do you have a question on this one? No? Okay. And maybe he's still with us. Oh, no, you just wanted a copy. Okay, not a problem. Fact is, I can leave this presentation here with the Vantage team. If anybody else wants a copy of it, you're welcome to it. Oh, and yes, this will also be available on playback.
Right. Folks, just as a reminder, all of their presentations for Think Tank Thursday is available on playback on VantageAcademies.com website. So this will be up on our website in about 4 or 5 business days. So you'll always be able to take a look at the various tips that Sean's created, as well as the visuals that he has as well.
And we'll also take the slides and create a PDF that includes Sean's comments. That'll be available if somebody would like a copy of the full presentation.
Sure.
Okay, any other questions? All right, with that, I thank you for your time, and I'll leave it to Rita to wrap up.
Yeah, great. Thanks, everyone, for coming in today and joining us for Think Tank Thursday. Again, this will be available on playback on the website in about 4 or 5 days. And we'll see you on next Think Tank Thursday, which will be April 9th. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Thank you.